Good morning, guys. I want to give you a quick update on the garden and take you outside and walk you around and show you my compost pile. Talk to you a little bit about what I've been doing this week. I thought I'd give you guys a quick update on my indoor lettuce and kind of vegetables. I put my new light in last week. You can see everything's really been growing well. But what I did notice is when you look at these tomato leaves, you look how pale green they're starting to become now with all this extra light. And the other thing is, my kale, all the leaves turn purple. So I don't quite understand that. But I've concluded that I'm low on nutrition in these tomato plants. So when I turn my compost pile today, I'm going to be getting make some compost extract out of it, even though my compost isn't done. I want to give it a try and pour some of that on it and see if I can help these plants nutritionally a little bit. This is an update on the compost pile. I'm going to turn it again today. It got up into about 150 degrees this week. As you can see, I got my new probe. It's 3 foot long and I've hooked it up to my temperature gauge, so I'll show you that reading here in a little bit. But last week I finished chipping all the trees I have around here. I pruned them and had a lot of branches, and I finished up the branches that Daryl had sent me over, so I got them all on the pile, and it's pretty full now. But I'm going to turn it all today and keep going. This is the 3rd week now, so I hope I have some compost made in the center, but I'll see in a little bit. As you can see right now, we're reading about almost 139. So that's been a week, and I can smell the pile right now. It smells like silage to me. I've been working on my garden too. Daryl and I had talked a lot about a deer fence, and I saw what he put up over there. So I looked at the companies and the deer fencing, and it all looks so expensive. And so really, what I was trying to do is come up with an alternative to these steel posts, because they're about 25 bucks a piece. Now they're really nice, but I just didn't want to invest that kind of money. So I come up with the idea that what I wanted to use was conduit, but conduit pipe is different size OD than steel pipe or any kind of pipe. Pipe OD is one size, conduit is a different size. So I looked at black iron pipe, which would really be nice, but it was $22 a piece too for 1.5 inch stuff that I'd have needed. So I come up with PVC. Now PVC has the same OD as regular what they call terminal post that they use to put chain link fence up. So all the hardware of chain link fence works on these terminal posts and the PVC. Now the problem with PVC is it's not very stiff. So what I did was I used a 2-inch PVC, which is an OD of 2 3/8, which is exactly the same size as terminal post and chain link fence. And I wanted to stiffen them up. So what I'm experimenting with is filling them with concrete to see if it stiffens them. Now I'll show you here in a little bit the difference. Another thing is when you're pounding a post in, it's hard to really get them in nice and straight. So I dug holes for all these. I mounted them in cement. That way I was able to get them all in line and straight. You can see in this shot that, you know, you're able to get them all lined up just perfectly straight and vertical. You can't do that if you're pounding in. I'll give you another shot. You can see in this shot here, you know, they all line up real well. So that'll make a nice job out of it. Now, here is going to be my gate. My 2 gate posts, I put them about 4.5 foot wide for a 4-foot gate. Now, you know, chain link fence has the hinges and the latch made for chain link. They just work ideal for a fence, so that stuff will all mount on there. One of the other issues I'm having with really a deer fence is everything should be black so the deer can't see it. Now, I wasn't real interested in painting the PVC. You know, that stuff just flakes off and doesn't really work, so I'm looking at a process of dyeing the PVC. And I'm going to experiment with that today. I haven't accomplished that, but what it actually does is it changes the external color of the PVC, so and it won't come off, flake off or anything. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Let me show you on stiffening these posts up now. Now I'm going to walk down here and I got that post right in front of you. I got it cemented in. I'm going to walk down here and show you how, I mean, it just is really flexible. Now I'm going to show you a post that I poured. It's full of concrete. Now I'm just going to lean on it because I just poured it yesterday and I don't want to crack the cement and it hasn't set up. I need to give it, 20 days or so to really set up well. But I'll go push on it and show you the difference. It's certainly not going to be as rigid as a steel pipe, but all I'm holding is a deer fence, and they're very lightweight, and they'll give and move, I think, when something runs into it. But I'll be hanging a 7-foot deer fence off of monofilament fishing line that I'll put around the top, and I'll connect that, paint the post black. Then I'm going to put chicken wire around the bottom. Now it'll actually be attached to the ground on the bottom so the small critters can't get underneath it, but I think it's going to be a real nice fence. The thing about these posts is they're about $7.50 a piece. It takes about $1.50 worth of concrete to fill them up, so I really, I'm going to have $9 in a post, which I don't think is too bad. Then to cement them in the ground, that's it by hand digging them, and that's what I had to do. I didn't have anything else except a digging bar and a garden trowel, and I put those holes in, but I was able to make them real small, so really each hole just took one bag of cement to fill them up. So overall, I think it's going to be a fairly economical job here. I'll be able to keep the costs down, and I think it'll do it. I'm about halfway down through my pile now. You can see it's smoking pretty good. That stuff's hot. I wouldn't want to stick my hands in there without gloves on. Let's go over and take a look at it. Now this is the center of the pile. As you can see, it's really starting to decompose pretty good. I'm somewhat surprised, but now I don't know if you could see or not, but it's starting to feel like there's enough moisture in it now. I can just feel it's kind of squishy in my fingers, but it's getting to be a nice, rich, dark-looking brown. I think that's where we're headed for. A lot of organic matter still. It doesn't look anything like dirt, but it's certainly breaking up. So I think we're on the right lines here. Okay, I got the pile all turned and moved. I'll tell you, it's looking a lot different this week. It's really decomposing and breaking down. So I think things are going to be a lot better. The one thing I do have to say is, though, in a garden, the most valuable thing you have is the compost, because you put more time into it than anything. Just turning this thing every week is just a lot of work. So I just don't see how anybody's going to do it commercially. I mean, we learned from Patrick Battle that you need sticks and things to get air into it. The thing that you want most to do, though, is when you're turning, is to grind all that stuff up into a powder so it's easy to shovel. All them sticks in there make it terrible. So if you had a commercial operation, how would you turn this stuff? Well, you'd have to grind it up somehow and mechanically flip this stuff over. So there's just be no way to do it properly. But the handwork just takes so much time. It really causes it to be valuable. And I want to show you some compost from the center of the pile. I took a bucket full of compost from the middle of the pile, and I filled the bucket partially full of water. So I'm going to squeeze this stuff and try to get extract as much of the biology out of the compost into the water as possible. I'm going to take it in then and pour it on my tomato plants inside. Okay, there we go, guys. I really washed that stuff out, and I threw the compost back in the pile. So really all I did was kind of wash any of the biology off of it, and I put it in this dish. It's really dark and a little bit frothy, so we'll see how it does on the tomatoes, and if it's successful, I'll be doing it again next week. before we use this stuff, let's take a look at it under the microscope to make sure it has biology in it. I'll take a look at it and send you guys some pictures. Here's my first view. I'm set up about 400 resolution. You can see all those little dots in there that's vibrating. That's all bacteria. Now this screen is absolutely full of bacteria. There's a lot of activity going on in that. All those little round things that look like they're empty in the center, I think those are amoebas, and probably what's happening is the heat has caused all of it to go dormant. And the only thing we're really seeing is bacteria. I'm hoping anyway that whenever the pile cools down, once it's done breaking down all the organic matter, that nematodes and protozoas and amoebas all start to move in here. But right now there's a lot of in there, and we'll have to see how it goes. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed the little tour. One thing I want to clarify a little bit is I don't think the cement in the PVC pipe is going to work. I've pushed them around a little bit and they really just don't seem to be that sturdy. So I'm not going to put any more cement in any of the other ones. I only really have one corner post and the doorway is cemented. I might put some kind of steel rod down through the center of them and stiffen them up, or maybe they're fine just the way they are, but I got to do some more experimenting. Well, that's it for this week. See you next week.